Right, Adele. Thank you for coming to the session. As we'd spoken about before, this is a confidential coaching session and it will just give you the opportunity to discuss any concerns or any support needs that you may have. If within this coaching session there's anything that I feel puts you at risk or others at risk, then clearly that will need to be reported. But apart from that, everything that we discuss will maintain, it will be confidentially maintained.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else that before we start that you want to clarify?
No, that's fine.
No. So this is about a 20-minute session as we agreed, and this is the first of the 3 sessions that we've booked in.
Right.
Brilliant. So there you go.
Okay. Well, what would be really helpful for me, because this is a fairly new job to me, is I want to know how I can get the best out of my job role and to perform to my best ability. So it would be really helpful if you could give me some guidance.
Okay. So you want to know how you can improve in the job that you've currently got.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's worth thinking about what do you feel that you do really well in relation to your job role now?
I think I'm good at relating to my team and working with my team. I try and meet with them every day. They are split across 2 sites, so that's not always possible, but the other centre where I've got a smaller provision, I try and get there at least twice a week.
Okay.
And they know that I'm always contactable by phone or email. I always make sure I've got time for people. If they come and see me, I have to stop what I'm doing and tell them to sit down and we discuss whatever their worries are. So I feel that I'm quite good in that respect.
Right, so am I right in thinking that you feel that one of your strengths is that you take the time to be there and to effectively support the team, and that's enabled you to develop a good relationship with them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. Right, so anything else, or the other things that you feel that you do well?
I'm supportive, responsive. I'm calm. I stay very calm under pressure.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because it does rub off on the team. If I was to panic, then the team would panic.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I always try and stay really, really calm. And in the past, people have always said to me that they feel much better because when I'm calm, they feel as though everything's okay.
Brilliant. So that the calmness that you bring to the team is clearly a strength then. Right. So, you're calm, you're supportive. Clearly they are, elements that a head requires to do the job really, really well. What do you feel then perhaps needs developing, or where do you think that you need to use others to better your role then?
A couple of things. One thing that I'm not so good at is telling people what I'm doing because I just get on with it. And so, like, my line manager perhaps might not always know what I'm doing because I'm just getting on with it and getting my head down. And so,
right. So, am I right in thinking then that you feel probably communicating what you do needs a bit more development?
Yeah.
Right, so what effect do you think that has, I suppose, on your role and also on your line manager in terms of not having a firm understanding of what's happening?
My line manager might think I'm not doing my job.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but obviously I want my line manager to know that I'm doing my job and that I'm doing a good job. Yeah. And I'm doing what she wants me to do. Right. Yeah. So
if that's an issue then, and you think perhaps your line manager is not informed, and that could lead to all kinds of assumptions, like you rightly say, what do you think you could do possibly to negate that, to make that better? Are there any strategies that you think?
Yeah, probably more meetings.
With?
My line manager.
Right. So requesting meetings, regular meetings with your line manager would be one good way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else then? What do you think?
Well, another thing that I thought of, because when we have the curriculum heads meetings, in the past, have always sat at the same side as my line manager, and so I think I've been not overlooked but not noticed. So my new strategy is to sit at the opposite side.
Perfect
so that people
strategy.
see me. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that might then allow you to come into the
meeting a bit more.
Absolutely, and to engage more and perhaps contribute.
Yeah, because a few times I've put my hand up to speak and I've not been noticed, not by my line manager but other people that have been in the meeting.
Right.
And like when HR were there once, and it was ages before I managed to get my point across because I was sat at that side and I wasn't seen.
Right, so if you...
And I'm not one to interrupt other people when they're speaking, so...
Right, so this is about, I suppose, you realising that you've got something that you want to say, but not feeling that you have an opportunity to say it. Yeah. Right, so now you've absolutely, recognised that. Perhaps, do you think it would be of benefit talking to your line manager and explaining that that is the case? Because they possibly could help you.
Yeah.
If they're aware,
Yeah.
then they can put things in place clearly that would support you to have that voice. Because clearly you've got an awful, a lot of good things to say. So it is about having that platform, isn't it, and contributing.
Yeah.
Right, so are we agreed then that you're going to speak to your line manager?
Yeah, see if I can get some more meetings set up.
Absolutely, and explain
that I'd like to be able to speak up a bit more in meetings and contribute a bit more.
Perfect. I think that would be a really good strategy. I think that would, like you say, it would give you confidence to know that you'd been heard, but it would also, you did say that you worried that your line manager possibly, didn't know whether you knew or not, and that could have implications for them. So clearly this is going to kill two birds with one stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going to give you that voice and also give the line manager confidence that, so no, I think that's a really good strategy. Yeah.
Great.
Right. So we've talked about giving you a voice and probably having more communication with your line manager. Is there anything else then that you think perhaps you could improve on or develop, if not improve on?
Okay. I realised this morning that I didn't have access to Moodle, to all my courses on Moodle. So it's just, I think it's about knowing who to contact for information. Because there's a staff directory, but unless you know who that person is, you don't know where to go. Right,
so if you have got issues and you don't know where to go, clearly that's going to have an impact, isn't it, on you doing your role. What could you do then in terms of making sure that you contact the right person?
Ask somebody who knows.
Absolutely. I think there's a thread coming through here, and perhaps it is about communication.
Yeah.
I think possibly the communication is limiting your opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I haven't got coronavirus. So I think now we've identified that, it possibly is easier to look at strategies to kind of, enable that communication.
Yeah.
Right, perfect. Have you got anybody in mind that you could ask? You talked about wanting to get information.
Yeah, so, probably my line manager would be a good start for getting these meetings.
Absolutely, yeah.
If I try and get some regular meetings set up, and my line manager will always be my first point of call.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, absolutely. Right, is anything else then that you think?
Presenting information.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say presenting information, to whom and what kind of information?
So, for example, we've been asked to put together information about a contingency plan for if college is closed for coronavirus.
Okay.
So it's just, I've been putting it together in a table format. Is that the right format? Does it want to be shared on OneDrive, or how am I going to?
Right, so who's asked you for this table?
So the deputy director's asked me for this.
Right, so perhaps it's about going back to them and asking them. I mean, who is the document for ultimately?
Well, it could be for exec, ultimately, but it's me that's going to be checking it on a regular basis.
Right, so I suppose then, if it's you that's going to be checking it, but you need to report that information, it needs to be in a format, I would suggest, that is good for you, because is it a working document?
It's a working document, yeah.
Right, and there's no template being given?
No, not as yet, no.
Right, so it's about you, I suppose, having a document that you can work with that best suits your needs. And then I suppose as long as it contains the information that you can then get hold of in order to present to whoever it is you need to present it to.
Yeah.
I suppose it's you having confidence that you've got that information, isn't it?
Comfortable with the information that I need. Yeah.
Right, so I would say, possibly that's down to you then to decide.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take advice, couldn't you, from your you know, from the person that's requested it, I would probably think that, you know, if they've not been that direction given, then it's down to you to.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Is there anything else then that you want to?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Right, so let's just give a bit of a recap then. I think the first thread, if I was right, that came through was that you're concerned that perhaps your communication might be a little bit of a barrier in terms of giving people confidence that you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
So we've looked at what we can do to kind of improve that. So I think you're going to go away, aren't you, and set up these regular meetings.
Yeah.
I would suggest possibly that you go away with an agenda. You go to these meetings with an agenda as well, and that could be perhaps things that come up
Good idea.
over that week that you know you're perhaps not quite sure about. And then the template. Again, I suppose if you've got these regular meetings, that could be the opportunity to present these formats. Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I don't think so at the moment. Yeah.
Right, so has this session been of any benefit in terms of?
Definitely, yeah. It's given me a way forward to improve my communication.
Perfect. Right, so as I say, everything that we discussed in this meeting will maintain, I will maintain confidentiality in terms of content. So we're meeting again next week at this time then, and then, obviously if there's anything else you want to bring, we can discuss that. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.